Hey guys, so I'm here with another new video. You saw the Advice Friday, and I don't know if this is going to be before the Advice Friday or after due to school and work, and I don't know when it's going up. It could be next week, but you saw this in the Advice Friday regardless. So yeah, today's Wednesday. Did I already say that? I don't know. But this week, I really want to talk to you guys about something, and it's something I have had on my mind a lot lately, a whole lot, and I want to put it out there for you guys. The truth, like maybe that can be something we talk about, is the truth is you too, you are not your parents. And you're like, yeah, that's obvious. I am not my mom, I'm not my dad. But what I'm getting at is that no matter what they have done or what they do, you don't have to do that too. Or you don't have to repeat what they've done. Who your parents are don't define you, because, because of who they are, it may have an effect on who you are. Like, it may take like a toll. Like, okay, let's say my mom cusses like a sailor, let's just be honest here, and I don't cuss at all. So maybe there's something that, because she cussed so much, I decided I didn't want to cuss at all. I don't know, like, I really don't know, but that's, it could have an effect, but it doesn't mean that just because she cussed like a sailor means I'm gonna cuss like a sailor. It's just, yeah. Another thing, let's see. Okay, yeah, I have a little list here to keep things in line. Sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I'm turning into my mother. Oh my gosh, I'm turning into my father. Yeah, there's qualities that we probably pick up on from them. Like, there's one, like, my dad, little things that he'll do, and, like, I'll find myself doing it. Like, he makes weird faces, and I didn't even realize until my best friend said something like, you make weird faces too. You and your dad both do that. And it's like, you do. So it's just weird, like, little qualities and little quirks and stuff that you pick up from your parents. Doesn't mean that you are your parents, but you pick up on little things like that. Okay, also, I already said this, but just because your parents do something doesn't mean you will. Even if they both do it, doesn't mean you will. Let's see. Here's some examples of, like, things, like, just because, let's see. Okay, here's a good one from my life. Just because my mom loves math and is good at math, and just because my dad is good at math and likes math, doesn't mean I'm gonna like math. I hate math. I hate it. And I'm not good at it either. Well, I'm decent. Like, I do okay. Sorry if you can hear that lawnmower. It feels good in Kentucky, so everybody's mowing. And there's loud trucks and all that fun stuff too. But just because mom's good at math, likes math, dad's good at math, likes math, here I am, their daughter, and I hate math. And I'm just okay at math. But both of them good at it and like it. So yeah. And let's see. Okay, my mom loves spaghetti. I hate it. And it's just crazy. And, like, also, that's another thing. Like, if a certain parent doesn't like a food, or, like, really loves a food, that may take its toll on you, in the sense, like, you may not like it, or you may just love it just as much. So it happens. Also, let's see. Okay, just because your parents get a divorce or break up does not mean you will get a divorce. That's a big one. Just because your parents have a divorce, break up, does not mean you will in the future. Know that. Remember that. Because honestly, I will admit it. The thought of my husband and I, my future husband, and I divorcing is just not something I want to think about. I want to be married once, and that's that. I want to be married for life. I mean, that's what I want, to one person. And so, yeah. okay? Just because a parent smokes, drinks, etc., etc., does not mean you will. My mom smokes, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to. It may have an impact and make me think it's, quote, normal, or it's okay, or I hate how I said quote normal, because it isn't. It's just something that, I think it's okay. I hate that mom smokes. I will never smoke in my life. I mentioned in my video Thinking Adoring Tag that my sister unfortunately picked it back up. But she's been around it all her life, and so have I, but it affected her differently, and that's another thing. Each kid will experience something slightly different with parents. Just because she picked up the smoking from mom doesn't mean that I will. Or just because I pick up making silly faces for my dad doesn't mean that if he had another kid, his other kid would, just silly little things like that. I don't know. Just trying to think of an example. Okay. This is a big one for me to voice, but just because my dad makes me feel guilty all the time and makes me feel this big whenever I don't see things his way, doesn't mean I'm going to do that to my kids. I am not going to do that to my kids. And there's a saying that you all have probably heard before. My father said it to me when you're upset and crying when you're little, and he says, I'll give you something to cry about. I'll give you something to cry about. I hate that expression. And when I've told my dad how much I hate that, and I'm not going to tell my kids that, he's like, oh, blame mom, which is his mom, because she said it to me. I was like, but you didn't have to say it to me. If you hated it so much, you didn't have to say it to me. And that's a fine example of what I'm talking about. So yeah. Also, this isn't an Advice Friday. I don't know if I said that. This is just me talking about the truth, that you are not your parents. And, also, don't think that who you are is completely because of your parents, because I feel like I have become who I am because of my surroundings, and that comes into psychology. Oh gosh, I've done a full turn because I'm just like, psychology. Ugh. But psychology talks about nature versus nurture. Nurture being your loving parents and all that, and then nature is your surroundings, like your school and your teachers and all those things. So I feel like I've had a fair share of both, but of course nature has had its toll on me too. Also, this is a very extreme example, and this is not in regards of my life, but just because you have been a victim of child abuse or child neglect or sexual assault, sexual things, does not mean that you will do it too. There are statistics that say just because a child has witnessed child abuse or been through child abuse, that they will do it too. So you have to know that don't ignore the statistics. They don't define you either. Okay, other examples, I already said just because a parent drinks does not mean you will. Just because somebody gets a divorce doesn't mean you will. Let's see. Okay, just because your mom may have had you young, or your parents may have had you out of wedlock, or any of the things like that, doesn't mean you will. And if you have a out of wedlock and your parents didn't, it does not define you. The statistics, everything, and you don't have to think that just because your parents had you in wedlock or out of wedlock doesn't mean you have to do the opposite, or you will do the opposite, or whatever. You're your own person, and that's a big thing here. The last thing on here I've already kind of mentioned, just because you are a child of, or a victim of child abuse or emotional abuse, physically or emotional, doesn't mean you will do that to your children. Because, I'm not as an extreme case, but I think I have had emotional trauma done to me from my father, and that's really hard to openly admit. But he's not as bad as he could be. He still makes me feel this big, but yeah. But you can make your own family. you can make a family that makes you happy, that, you know, you and your husband are together, or wife or whatever, are together forever, and your kids will see your parents, their parents, together, and you can create that. And Shay Carl, I want to say, Shay Carl taught me through his videos that if you want a great family, it's simple as doing it yourself. Just do it. It's your life. And because of Shay Carl, I know I can have a loving family like his, and I want to just start one myself because Shay Carl let me know that I could do that. So yeah, thanks Shay Carl. Although you won't see this, but thanks. Honestly though, guys, this is the truth. You are not your parents. They don't define who you are and who you're going to be. Because you are you. And you're the only you out there. So stick to who you are. And if you need help along the way, I'll be here. I'll always be here. And also, guys, I never ask for a thumbs up. But try to get this a thumbs up. Because we need to know that we are not our parents, that we will accomplish what we want to accomplish and how we will accomplish it regardless of where we come from. And that's another thing. No matter your background and where you grew up, you can accomplish something. You can become something great because you are great. That's my spell on that. I almost got a little bit emotional, not gonna lie. I did get emotional, but like tears. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all soon. I don't know when this is going up. Maybe Monday? I don't know. We'll find out. Guys, I will talk to you later. And comment below one thing you want to do differently than your parents did. I can tell you right off the bat, mine is to never tell my child I'll give you something to cry about, never make them feel guilty. And I'll never smoke. So that's one from each parent. But thank you guys for watching, and I actually hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you later.